Welcome back, Drumheads. We are back for another episode of just having a chat about being a pipe band drummer. What's going on, Andy?
Good morning. It's a cracking morning here in Scotland. Beautiful.
Is that?
Buongiorno, drumheads. Feeling
Wow.
Italian and all that. Feeling continental. It's
Look
that
at that.
nice.
It's so very cultured.
Yep.
What's been happening out there, mate? You got any shout outs? Who's been helping us along the way?
Right, okay. Big shout out for Wally Laird to help me out with a phone call last week. I was in Turbo Clip. He gave me a phone call, wee bit of help, bit of adult guidance.
Oh,
So thanks very much, William, for that. The other one is Vicky Paul, our tenor drummer. Right,
Yeah.
I'd like to say thanks very much to her because she's got a pal that does all the kind of merchy drum, kind of, well, the merchy stuff like handled and
Merch, you say?
that kind of thing that I broke the other day. Community Drum Holler.
Oh, my God.
I need another one.
You can't be trusted.
Right. And talking about merch, Ali Park. Do you remember Alistair Park, the jammiest piper in the world?
Episode 6 or something like that.
Right. Well, that guy eventually got his T-shirt.
Oh, good.
Because to be fair, he kept on wanting me going, I've not got a T-shirt. I was like, pfft. So when I went up and I had that concert, which I might speak about later on, but basically, I gave him his T-shirt.
Good.
Got it. So
all is well.
He can stop whining now. Where's my T-shirt? Oh, I don't got a T-shirt. Sounds like he's one of his veins, man. That's for the veins we wave. All right, kids. Right.
All for the fans.
I literally walked 500 miles to give him that T-shirt.
Wow. It's true. The stereotype is true.
No, never. Right, moving on. Come on. What are we talking about? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I've been wanting to talk about something because I've been, as you know, I've been practicing a lot. I've been putting myself in all these type of situations, like athletes do. You like go and stand on in like an ice bath. Or
I know what you're thinking. You're thinking like kind of, when they do the kind of reminiscing bit, and kung fu, karate,
like a montage.
The guy, and they do the montage, and he's standing at the end of the pier with one foot. And the albatross flies in the background of the sun setting.
That's it. I'm doing Tai Chi on the edge of the cliff.
Pad. Yeah. You're sitting there with your pad and sticks in
like
this montage.
I'm landing like the perfect flam, like trying to move water.
I'm actually getting worried what's going on in your head. It's like, honestly, maybe you and Darren Brown are kind of aligned. You've got that going on in your head, right? He's got Dungeons and Dragons and all that kind of live action role play going on in his head, right? So there must be something in the water.
It is.
Right, anyway, back to what we're saying.
Yeah. What's been happening is I've been sitting in a sauna and I've been practicing rudiments. And
that's just people. I was so you last night. I sat in the sauna drumming.
Just amping up the temperature, getting hotter, and just putting more reps in, more beats. And I was just thinking, what's going to happen if one day my pad just can't take it anymore? Because the
what's going to happen when they open your door and your body collapses out the sauna because you've been doing that much stuff. Your heart rate's going up. Like, if you've got a dodgy heart, you should be in the sauna. You're like,
my heartbeat will be like irregular, but it'll be like a Radamacu. Just like.
I was going to say that. I'll tell you one thing about him. Maybe a regular heartbeat, but it was a good rhythm. So what are we talking about? The pad that you take in the sauna?
So that's right. I'm not going to do it, but anybody can take this idea and run with it. Make a pad that's waterproof. It's heat proof. It's indestructible. Make it from
I've got an idea, right? Why don't you just take a pad? This might sound crazy, right? This might kill your idea for convo, right?
There you go.
Take a drum pad, like the Go pad or a wee kind of rubber pad, and then you put it in a freezer bag. And you seal it, and you sit it on your knee, and you drum on it.
Wow. The sauna pad. There you go. You just done it.
But we could call it, but mate, listen, but we're not going to just say it's a freezer bag. We'll call it the sauna bag or the sauna score bag. Something like that, right?
Like
and then we'll get it out there. We just need somebody that does the Flam 5 type kind of merch advertising because they're good at what they sell, right?
Yeah.
So we'll get them.
Military grade on it.
I will get like something like that. I will get the kind of crow's foot army kind of marking, and we'll get some serial numbers at the side of it, and then we'll get to Flam 5, and then they can advertise it for us, mate. We'll be millionaires. Millionaires. on the strength of a freezer bag.
And that's right. And then nothing is better than sitting in a sauna and having something to do rather than just be alone with your thoughts, right? And think of all the Finnish people that we would get into pipe bandery from that.
That's a possibility. We should have asked. Do you know the guy that came on the show? Tommy
Kalpala.
Tommy Kalpala.
If you're listening, mate.
If you're listening, Tommy, get back to his drumming sauna facts. Or do you think the crazy Finns, right? Because they're like the Estonians. So I've worked in a couple of places with these people, right? And I think it's the Estonians have got in their actual Part 1 orders kind of thing. Yeah. That everywhere they go, they've got to have built a sauna, right?
Oh, now, perfect. What a country.
Well, wait. That sounds perfect. What happens when you're in somewhere like Afghanistan that's roasting hot? You have to build the sauna. But bizarrely, it works. I know it sounds crazy.
I think
it actually works because it's a damp heat and it's the sauna.
Yes. It would actually be relieving, wouldn't it? It would cool you down, maybe.
Go figure that one out. Right, so here's the next thing. So I was actually thinking that when they build the sauna, could they not just build it in like a drum, like a kind of pad, a rubber pad?
Like build it into the sauna?
I build it in the sauna, so you just take your sticks in the sauna, and you're like that.
So it's ready to go. Awesome.
Ready to go. You could actually, in fact, let's get back to Drum 5. Another product for us, the drum sauna.
Yeah.
So they could maybe do that. Never mind just the wee bag. We want the actual sauna. Hi, this is JML. Build your own drum sauna.
Just like an ensuite bathroom. There's just like a little
$19.99. You can have your own drum sauna.
This is
complete with the drum pad insertion kit. You shouldn't laugh at your own jokes, but I'm actually finding that quite funny. Right, moving on. So, I get what you're saying. Waterproof pads. I'm going to go on holiday shortly.
Yeah.
You know, do you think it's like watches they could have like writing in the side of it saying this pad is water resistant to a tropical shower? This drum pad is water resistant to a Gaelic Head, West of Scotland downpour. Different variant.
Lightning resistant.
Lightning resistant. That's a good one. You could have a wee lightning spike put in the end of it as well if you lived in areas that were quite prone to that.
Seriously, because drummers, like, you need to be drumming everywhere you go. You have to be doing it everywhere. There's
all the time.
And that's evidenced by Kermit Quillen's phone pad bizzo, right? Like, that is absolutely... That's where we're going with this.
Why has nobody sent me one of them?
Because I think you have to get one. Like,
I don't know how many times... I don't know how many times I need to hint. How many hints do I need to drop? Get me a Kermit Quillen phone pad, drum pad thing. You know what I mean? I don't know. I should maybe have a banner. I think they go, send Laird one of these. I don't know how much are they 25 quid or something?
You keep just looking over people's shoulders when they use them. You're like, oh, that's not saying though.
Well, like, do you know what? I was wanting to. Where was I recently? I've not actually seen somebody with. In fact, that's a lie. That's a lie. Kitchen, you are out there. I know you might be watching the show, trying to dig me up for my tie. That's another thing. We'll talk about that. The social medias. But, your man Kitchen, I think he's got one. His girlfriend, he made his television, his girlfriend got it. So I did get a shot of it. And then we were talking about the whole thing. But we've done that on one of the shows before. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Somebody sent me one. Send me. Can this not be like that watch show? The Scottish guy in Australia.
Just one more watch.
He does the watch show. But you know what? He's got good fans. They send him a watch. Right? And he wears it, and then he'll say, "Oh, this was sent to me by so and so, by Armina Casio Royale." Maybe you want to know, right? But it's the rubber strap, no the metal one, because I don't like metal straps. Anyway. I'm
wearing a Seiko Passage GMT.
Wait a minute, that's quite good. That's an nicey. That's a keeper.
We like to keep time. Drummers like to keep time.
So anyway, the bottom line is so folks sent him in that watch and go, what's his name again? Jody. That's his name. Jody. The reason I'm saying it's a weird name. Jody's not a weird name. It's just not very popular in these parts that I come from.
Oh, okay.
I don't meet a lot of guys called Jody.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought so.
It's an unusual one.
Yeah.
But maybe there's a reason behind it. Maybe Jody should get back to go on the show and say, "Listen, Andy, Lairdy, I think your name's bizarre, but that's fine. But I like the guy. I like to cut his jib. The only thing is
your name's just way too mainstream, anyway."
But I'm like that. I went to school, been in the army with hundreds of folk, right? And I'm like, in fact, I don't think I've came across a guy called Jody.
It couldn't be mistaken for Geordie. That's
No,
what
it's
I'm hearing.
Jody. No, it's
Jo-
Jody.
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 Yeah.
Huh.
I'm sure it is. Maybe you can get in touch with us and go, I'm going to have you.
That's not my
Talk
name.
nonsense about my name. That's not my name. That's not my name.
Yes.
That's one of these songs, isn't it? That you
So
just
you just want to end.
You just think they got away with that.
Yeah.
They got away with that.
Oh, they got away with that.
I've been listening to a lot of Haku as well. That Japanese
So many people
band.
getting away with it.
I know. I don't know why I'm listening to Haku. And like the other one, Octobo Beaver. I don't know why I'm listening to this. Must be something in the air that they're trying to kind of force Japanese music on me. Like that, right? Listen to this. You're going to like it.
This
Haku,
is something.
bit bubblegum
the music
pop,
you listen to is something I've been thinking about recently. Because just to bring it back to what the name of the show is, right? To what the episode's about.
Listen, to bring it back to what the show's about, it's not about watches. It's not about Japanese bands. It's not about a guy's name. It's meant to be about drumming.
I'm bringing it back to the to what the episode's about here, right? The Unison part. So I've been looking over some Unisons that I think that you've sent me recently, and I've been thinking like, do I need to get into the head of my lead drummer here? You know, what I mean, trying to get into their head and think of like, what is it they eat for breakfast? What's the music
No,
that
right,
they write?
let's think about this for Unison for a start, right?
Yeah.
Right, we need to be honest here. MD that's been following this project.
Yeah.
I'm calling it a project. It's a band. It's a real band. 12.95 in the register. Trust me, we're in debt up to our eyeballs. My wife's going to kill me. All that kind of stuff, right? So it's
Send
real.
help. Send help.
It's not just about a patter. This is 1,010% real. However, so considerations we need to make are the Unison is quite straightforward, and it's got to be quite straightforward because we can't be too crazy with the Unison, because if we were, I think it would be even harder to harness a solid sound out of what we want for the drummers. So we need to box clever, as it were. We need to kind of make sure that what we're doing is, I'm not saying easy because it's not easy, but what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to make it an easier passage than making it more difficult. And look at me, look at us, look at what we're doing. Right, if we try and do that with the small amount of time that we've got, I think we'll find it. We're giving ourselves more of a challenge than what
so
we
deserve. You go for the subtlety first, and
but
musical.
I'm thinking that basically all drummers will know this, right?
Yeah.
Right. The easier Unison's on the beat.
Yeah.
Right. Because then you can just turn and go at. If it's a 2-part, right? If it's 2 beats in the bar, you're like, right, you're on the beat in that first beat.
Yeah.
Then the second bar, guess what? You're on the beat in the second beat. So it means that you can count it and you don't need to over really think it. And you know what I mean? So it's not like you're saying in, Eddie, inni. So that you know what I mean? You don't want to use something like one, inni, you're in. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But inna, you're like, oh my God, inna.
Yeah.
Inna's like a split second. You're like, inna, come on back. You're about 10 years too late. Right?
Yeah, and
that makes it trickier. So if the speed, the tempo of the thing's moving, right? And then your Unison's coming in. And then eventually, if you try to play the Unison as a side drummer, maybe that's the only reason I made myself lead. I'll just confess it now, right? I could have made somebody else lead drummer, right? But the only reason I made myself lead drummer is because it's easier for me to play the whole thing without learning the Unison. Because the Unison itself is as difficult,
right there is the
if
most,
not more, than playing the whole thing.
So this is true, isn't it? To be the lead drummer, it's a bit more of a jammy position to be in because you just have to learn it, and once you've got it, you can switch off. You're just thinking about what's for lunch.
Alpha mode. You're like that.
Yeah.
Right? I need to go to the shops and pack it off like that. Maybe pick myself up some lager. Right, whatever. Yeah, exactly.
And
no, that's being disingenuous.
I know,
but there is a degree of truth.
But
to
it is true.
There's a degree of truth to that. You're like, I don't need to worry about the Unison.
Yeah,
that's for
it's
everyone.
Almost like when you lead drummer and you got a piece of music and you look at it and you go, right, now we've all got it, and you hand it over to your core and you're like, now you've got to get the Unison parts down, and they've got to go to work, strip it all back.
I'll tell you what though, right? Obviously, because of modern technology, your wee phones, your wee. What do you call? I'm starting to talk like Biscuity Boyle. Your wee kind of headphones and all that, right? So Obviously, the advantage now with your drummer is you can record stuff at your practice.
Oh
There you
yeah,
go. Down it goes. You can have that blaring in your wee kind of whatever sound system you've got, your wee kind of
day
your
and night.
JML Bluetooth speaker, right?
Yeah,
You can have one of them full pelt, and then you
in
can
the
be
sauna.
playing in the sauna, right? And you can then get the what do you call it, the benefit of
Yeah,
practicing unison.
yeah.
I'm playing the unison theory piece, but I know, and I'm not going to lie here. People don't know me will be like, that's true. I was there. So there's certain times I've been trying to play unison things, and I've just been like, I can't get this.
Right.
I just
Yeah.
I'm finding it really hard, and I mean really hard.
So it is almost like when once you get a unison part presented to you, like you're just starting from scratch again. I mean, you've
No,
got the
because
whole
really in
tune.
reality, no, what you need to do is obviously you'll need to learn the piece that the lead drummer's
Yeah.
playing.
So
At
that's the
some point,
standard
no.
approach, right? You're always
At
just
some
learning.
point, no. At some point, what you've got to think about is your lead drummer might be a crazy cat and he's playing some mad licks, and you are not good at playing them. And then you're like, well, that's all right. I'm just playing a unison for that bit. So guess what? I don't really need to learn to play that,
Sure.
right? But listen, we've all went through this. Everybody's went through this. So the bottom line is it's a curse and a blessing at the same time.
I was wondering, do any other drum corps, you know, your Bagads or your American ones, do they have unison parts? I know
Well,
in
of course, I would imagine they do. Eh?
because I know in
It's a good question, but I would imagine they do because it's part of the way we as
that's
drummers
right.
we can't turn it up to 11, right? So we've got dynamic, so
Yeah.
we've got to play quiet and loud, and the only other way you can augment that dynamics is by having unison.
Yeah.
So,
It gives
aye,
it a thickness.
and
I know that in normal like sort of like piano or whatever orchestral, right? They define it as two or more musical parts that have the same pitch within an octave. So they're talking about it's just within the
that
same
octave,
octave, right? But
yeah.
we can't do that, so we have appropriated it to. And now this is something that I need to square away with you. I need to understand this, and maybe other listeners need to as well. Do people call it what can you tell me what is a double 40?
Right, so when you play, right, so double 40 is when everybody's playing piano double 40. Everybody's playing that.
Right. So
So
that's the
that's
unison,
basically
essentially.
that's no. So so the double 40 is when everybody's playing the second
Yeah.
part, the second part, second time through. Double
Yes,
40.
right. Yep, yep, yep. But do people also say double forte?
You can see double 40 for all you care.
Right. So
I don't really think it's. I mean, see, this is the thing, right? Look, why not just call it the chips and be done with it?
I like that. I like that. But
Right?
but something as someone who's just
guys, this is the chips. Let me bit above. No, because we can get really musical, and appreciate that, right? And I'm not trying to sound churlish, right?
yeah.
We can, and like you say, obviously, when we draw our line above and we bracket it, and then we say that's to be played as unison,
Mm,
right? That's fine. Piano double 40. Obviously, when everybody's coming back through, the double 40 is what everybody's playing.
yeah.
Second time through. Under my right. In fact, do you know who would be right out of this? The last guy that was on the show, Alan.
Ah, that's true. Alan, weigh
That
in. I also
that,
I
that
need to
man
know if
knows an
it's
awful lot about musical terminology.
yeah, that's true.
And
I just needed to clear up, is it double forte or is it double 40? Because,
just, we could
I've
call it
heard both
D4.
and I'm thinking,
Listen, do you
where
know what
am
we're going to call it? We're going to call it D40.
D40. Okay, 40.
D40. People, what are they talking about? Like,
Oh.
that's what the cool kids call it. D40. Double 40.
D40. Right, so we're back to where we started. Okay,
I
all
don't
right, all right.
know.
So, lady, just before we finish on this topic here, obviously we're talking about there's new ways to learn things. You can film things and you can blare it while you're asleep, whatever, to ingest it.
Yeah.
But in the days before technology, which I'm sure is only just You've
In
just
the days before technology, folk got out their bedrooms and went round and seen their leading drummer more often and go to off before he threw a track
just by
and got
hanging
angry
out
with you
together all the time, eh?
and went round to the shed, practiced like demons, and go to off and remembered it. And if they didn't, they'd get the glare when they were back with the core. Everybody'd be like looking at them going, "What are you doing?" It's horrible. I suppose really it's a form of bullying, isn't it? It's harassment. Let's all look down on that guy that's not got it off. Who's that guy?
We got it easy, eh?
Who's this guy? What's he not getting? Let's not talk to him at the break. See when we break. See when we have a break. Let's just ostracise him and treat him differently for everybody else. That's inclusion right there, people.
That's why technology was furthered.
Listen, this is the fun of the fair. The bottom line is some Unison's going to be trickier than others. I mean, I would imagine that some bands are really kind of being really exceptionally imaginative.
Yeah,
with their Unison.
Yeah,
right, and that's wonderful. That's a great thing.
There's lots that can be done,
and more power to them. Look, why go with the staid and easy when I can go for the difficult and the intricate? I'm in favour of that.
Yeah.
Hold on, the good weather's affecting my quality of my.
All right, so listen, that's Unison's done, right? But
yeah,
something that you did recently, and I was thinking, how's this guy got the music down for this? Was when you went and played with Scaryville. Now, was that just like some random piece that was written for you, or was that something that they had written with them, or how did that come to be?
Well, the guy that actually plays with Scaryville is their kind of drummer. They've got the kit drummer. But Grant Cassidy, he obviously supports them by playing like a kind of pipe bandy snare drummy bit. I don't know if you've seen the clip, right? So really, in reality, what the chord is, that was the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo, we only just rock up and go and play something quite simplistic. It's not hard. You pick it up in about 20 minutes. I would maybe pick it up in about 2 hours, 20 minutes. But anybody kind of half decent would pick it up in about 20 minutes.
So nice, easy gig.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, right, it all depends what way you look at things, right? So, it's an experience. I think it's good if you can get the chance to do something like that. It's something that you would enjoy. But I think that for anybody that's in the pipe band world, right, and there's two sides to the coin here.
Yeah.
Anybody that's in the pipe band world, they want to play in the Grade 1 arena at the Worlds.
That's the biggest gig.
That's the biggest gig. For a pipe band drummer, that's the biggest gig. And if you do that gig, then you're done. You can go, but I've done that. And there's not a lot of people can say they've done that.
True.
As we know as a show, right? So we know that we've got a really small amount of people that would watch the show anyway. And then so if you actually then divide that up with the amount of people that's actually played in Grade 1, well, you're not talking a lot of people.
Well, so Scaryville gig would be grand.
I would imagine that there's probably more people played. I'm going to be careful the way I say this. There's probably more people played in a band format in front of a live audience, like a big audience.
Yeah,
of course it has. Then there's actually been drummers played in the Grade 1 arena, the big arena, actually at the Worlds. There's going to have been.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. So therefore,
just tattoos alone.
That's where you should be aiming, I think.
Or it could be the inverse, and you could end up like Kerr McQuillan and the boys, and you've done all that, and now you're going out with drums and roses.
Well, this is what I was going to say.
Yeah, knickers thrown on your bagpipes.
Yeah. So there's the classic example is Grant Cassidy, and he's like, well, to be honest, I've done it, and I'm preferring doing this.
Yeah,
and I prefer playing to like big live audiences and getting that sort of vibe, and that's what he's enjoying at the minute.
That's cool.
I'm not saying and I don't think we'll see the end of him. I think he'll be back in a pipe band format somehow. But to be honest, I totally get where he is now. He's like, do you know what? This is what I'm doing. This is what I like doing. And by the way, it's more fiscally rewarding than trying to cut about with a pipe band. It's just like a money pit.
Just asking for fees and
just constantly putting money into a black hole. Where's it gone? Right. So, there's that element. But that's by and large what I think.
Cool.
What about
cool.
The last thing I was going to say when we're talking about people and all that, I think now that I've got him, he's actually in Drumhallar now because we're going to go and do a job for Snare Force One, right?
Nice.
I've got a guy, I call him Mr. Cappuccino Mustachio, right? That's the name I've decided to give him.
What a name.
I can see in the corner of my eye, right? He's getting the rage. He's trying to give me like an Arnold Schwarzenegger. I kill you last. He's trying to give me one of the looks, right? It's not happening, by the way, right? So it's all right. Listen, this mic is got like kind of, you can't hear the background noise.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what he's saying. He's just chunting away about it.
I can hear something. I can hear some grumbling in the background.
Yeah. His name's Liam Martin, and he's going to be assisting me with the editing. So it's just that it's almost like a kind of petulant child that I've got to drag about. You know what I mean? One of the veins that you go in the shops, he's like, "Can I get that?" Like, no, can I get that? No, can I get that? No, right?
That's how I feel around you.
So that's hopeful we're looking forward to in the future. Maybe we can get some decent, because Flam 5 and the such, right? Pipe Band Museum, they're another bunch, right? These guys are all over their social media.
Yeah,
and it's no, and I don't want it to be, because we've done something shiny and bright, ergo we're good. I think at the end of the day, it comes down to what your partner is, and that makes you good. But at the same point, it does work. It's like attractive. It's shiny. Lot. It's spinny. It's like, but I just can't. I've not got the time, patience, or intellect to be honest. To be bothered with it.
You need people like Liam Martin.
These things.
He's helping to make the world go round.
He's actually, more importantly, he's going to help us Snare Force One's wheels go round, because we've got an electronic issue with the van, and that's a today project. So we're going to do that straight after the show finishes.
Go on then.
So that's a kind of rapid fire episode, but I hope you enjoyed it and look forward to the next one.
Yep.
So really, it's just for me and Liam to go, adios. We're out of here. Catch you
back to practice, folks.
Jeez.